Welcome to South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. This is South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught. We're also going to cover the future marine forecast and your moon phase and tide chart. Everything you need to know to keep you in the bite. All right, so let's get right into this, folks. Actually, before we get into this, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, or just see some great, exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing family. Okay, so back to it. Let's get right into it. Not much happened this week for fishing. If you did get out in South Florida or anywhere in Florida, more power to you. We had a very unpredictable storm in the way of Debbie, which is still crossing the back up north on the East Coast, and it's going to head out and then head back up into the Carolinas. And what that did is that produced a west wind today, some stormy weather, and that's why you felt the heat because of the southwest wind. And tomorrow, there's some drier air kind of falling in behind it. So our chances of rain are going to go down for the next couple of days and then increase back in the weekend. But we'll get right into that. Anyway, let's look at some fishing, the little bit that did happen. We'll start out real quick with Captain Alex, who is spending the summer in Alaska. Here we go. Nice salmon. Very good. He likes to share what's going on. So, very nice. Thanks, Alex. When he gets back down, if anybody needs a captain down in Marathon, I can put you in touch. I'm not sure when the summer ends, but great. All right. So let's go over some inshore fishing, right? We got Gary Freeman. Caught a couple of nights. He went out with his friend down in Isla Morada and got himself a night. He said he had to jump in the water to actually get this bonefish. So inshore, right? The bonefish. And then here's his buddy. He caught actually a little bit of a bigger one. Nice. So bonefish are, considered some of the, light tackle, some of the toughest fighting fish that there are. Not only are they tricky to get into the hookup with, they're tough fighters too. So some good old fashioned fishing fun right there. Inshore, right? That's shallow, skinny water fishing with live shrimp, live minnows, whatever. I'm not even sure what they might have called it on, but bone fishing, if you're into it, takes lots of patience and a good amount of skill to be able to get hooked up with them. All right, what else? Inshore. Here we go. Nothing. Chris Rose. Nothing like a pier bonita. Perfect. Look at that. Nice pier tuna going on there. Hey, those are actually the eating size right there. the little guys like that, the little boneheads, and you can take those home. You bleed them. They're not half bad, because regardless, it is a tuna. Great catch, young man. All right, what else do we got? I know inshore we got Pedro and Anna. They did some bridge fishing again because, of course, the storm. Keeper snappers. The mangroves are hitting up by the bridge, so you get you some water flow underneath any bridge that you go to, and you're bound to pick off, a handful of keepers or so. And, this is definitely a nice meal. All right. What else do we got here? We'll keep scrolling down. That's, all right. So we'll look here. Nick. Let's see. Nice muttons, 18 and 23 inches with no current, which is great. No current muttons is always nice. So the interesting thing about it, right, is the greenback here that's a shallower water one, and the one that's more pink is usually a deeper water mutton snapper. Just a little bit of trivia about mutton snapper if you don't know. When he managed to get out and get these, must have been before the storm, before the waves picked up. Nice catch, Nick. And then we got another submission from Pedro. This was last Thursday, of course, before the storm. Some porgies, one yellowtail, and a night. Yeah, they say a snake. It's a nice kingfish, and a gazillion false albacore, bonitas, of course. Super hot out there on the Juneau Ledge. Trolling produced more bonitas and a few cudas that tear up your rigs, of course. Yeah, so, consistently out there. Consistency is the name of the game, right? So nice kingfish, yellowtail, porgies, great, little buffet of fish going on here. So, you catch the porgies and you think, oh, man, what's going on with the fishing? Porgies are great eating. So that's what's going on. All right, so that's all the submissions we had. Like I said, it was a rough week to get out. If you didn't get out there last week during the week, it didn't happen. I know we had one more submission. This is from Lafayette. He's got a little video he shared right here of some cooking. I believe he's frying up some snapper right there. Oh, and look, he's got the seasoned blue crabs. Looks great to me, man. Huh, the broccoli. So what did he say about this? He said, the yellowtail. Yes, so those are yellowtail snapper. All right, so that's some good fun. That's a great looking meal, man. That's the way to do it. All right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk about the reality of fishing right now. You've got a snapper bite that's going on in this up and coming week. The snapper bite, the yellowtail are there. The mutton snapper there. They're easier with current, obviously. You saw Nick got a couple of them with no current. That's tough going. North current is always your best current for yellowtail snapper and for the muttons. The mangrove snapper, you'll want to be in a little bit shallower in the 30-foot range of the first reef. The yellowtails and the muttons tend to be out a little bit deeper, right? 70, 60 to 90 feet for the yellowtails. And the muttons, I've found the bigger ones always on the deeper wrecks. Your pelagics right now swimming around. We've got the false albacore, which are pretty much, if you want to get away from them, you got to go deeper than 200 feet. We've got kingfish showing up on the reef, so you're going to have to sift through the barracudas and the bonita to get to the kingfish. But again, persistence is key. A little bit out deeper off that third ledge and out to 700 to almost 1,000. We've still got small mahi swimming around. A few keepers. You're gonna have to sift through them. But I have seen larger ones. A few large bulls showed up, about 2 weeks ago. Also, we've got the football-sized blackfin tuna are in heavy abundance. So if you're able to get out, just bear in mind that the blackfin tuna are swimming around 200 to 300 feet, maybe a hair deeper. If you can't find them, I'd say head out to about 600 and troll in and out for them, and you will run into them sporadically. So that's our pelagics. Also, let's talk about deep dropping. Tilefish is closed until January 1st. That's golden tilefish, and then I believe May 1st is blue line. So you got to wait till next year. Right now, you've got, I've seen a bunch of yellow eye snapper being caught. They'll be mixed in with your vermilion snapper and also out deeper. And now those fish are usually found off the wrecks in the sand, schooling, moving with the current. So once you find them, pull up your stringer, get 1, 2, 3. Then you have to go back, go a little bit north. They're going with the current usually. Find them, they move around. Hey, Pedro, I don't know where Cheese It is. I tried to look for him. He's somewhere bothering one of the other cats or the bird or the lizard, something. Yes, porgies are quite good. They are. So this is, this is what Pedro's saying. He's asking where the kitty is. I don't know. And porgies, yes. Porgies are, don't deny them. If you ever, like I said, if you pull them up and you're like, oh man, what's wrong with the fish? There's nothing wrong with pulling up a bucket load of porgies. It's a delicious fish. All right, back to it. Deep dropping, right? There's swordfish out there still, sporadic, but you got to be a sword fisherman. And if you don't know what you're doing and it's your first time, I suggest, studying, taking someone who's got some knowledge, something like that. 800 feet, roses. So that's about it for our fishing going on, right, folks? Not much, like I said, because of this storm. So let's take a little bit of a look. We had, like I said, we had this storm pass us, and it was all over the place last week. The forecast, it was hard to tell where the storm was going. Initially, they said it was going to skirt the East Coast. Then as the week progressed, they said, hey, it's coming around the West Coast. It's going to swing around south and then come back over the west to the east. and it was very hard to pin down what was happening with it because there was no center of circulation. Once a center of circulation forms on a tropical disturbance, they're able to follow and predict the trends of what's going to happen. And that's when you get these defined paths that they show you, the spaghetti models and the cone of uncertainty and all that. Unfortunately, that didn't happen until Debbie was pretty much right on top of the state. And then they can say, okay, hey, it's going this way, which is why everybody was left guessing. Regardless, weather was, not really doable this weekend. If you looked at your webcams, you got unbearable, treacherous conditions to get out. So hopefully that changes this week. And that's what we're going to look at right now. We're going to start off with windy. Go into our future marine forecast. All right, here's windy. So as you can see, I got a zoomed out shot. This is what is right now Tropical Storm Debbie. It hit land over here towards Florida's Big Bend with about 80 mile an hour winds, category 1. Hurricane is currently at about 40 miles an hour. It's going to kind of head out due east and then kind of curve back in and give some flooding in the Carolinas. So this is us currently right now. Like I said, we've had a southwest wind all day, which produced some heat and a ton of humidity, right? So if you're hot, you're not lying to yourself. When you got that west wind, it's hot. Okay, and this is going to stick around for the next day or so. All right, so let's look at tomorrow. Tomorrow morning around 8 a.m., we've still got winds ripping in the high teens from the west, right? So it might create us a swell, might subdue our oceans a little bit, but it's going to be hot. So let's look and see. As a matter of fact, let's see what this west wind has done. I'm going to pull up the BOCA inlet cam right now and show you that west wind, what it does. It lays down your ocean. So I'll show you right now, even though we've got, winds that are kicking up, let me show you what it does to your ocean. It creates a swell. So here you go. So this is what we're looking at. Not much in the way of waves, swells, right? So getting out of your inlet is not impossible. You just got to be careful. If you head out, you've got these offshore storms that are the remnants of the tail end of Debbie. Okay, so this west wind can pound you. It's not bad to get out. Okay, if you've got the swells that are coming into the inlet, you've got to time it right and don't ever try to turn around in between them. Okay, so we'll go back to windy and continue on with the forecast. So tomorrow, again, we got this west wind, but the seas will be pretty flat over on the, Big Bend area down to Tampa. Everything, the wind's ripping from the west, so the Gulf is going to be fairly rough down into the Keys. You're looking at some good stuff here up in the upper Keys, probably a little bit more laid down, more so than Key West area. Okay, so let's move on to tomorrow afternoon. More of the same. The wind turns more southerly, picks up the further north you go, up towards Port St. Lucie, Vero Beach. It especially where you got to get further offshore to be able to do fishing. The wind's ripping, so it's probably not going to be too favorable out there. And again, coming into the afternoon, it'll probably pick up a little bit and see what happens with our rain chances too. Thursday morning, again, more of that west wind everywhere. So your west coast, it's going to be fairly choppy out there in the shallow waters. Tampa Bay, it all depends upon where you're fishing there. Skyway Bridge, guys, you're going to have a ton of wind, so don't know about that. Everglades National Park, again, you've got the wind coming at you, so just keep that in mind. Key West, and it seems to drop below 10 miles an hour, but this is the morning time calm. Biscayne Bay, again, it'll be nice in there if you're doing the fishing in there for redfish, shallow water snapper, or anything like that. In close, again, Palm Beach, Tri-County area, in close, you're going to have that small swell. Won't be bad. It'll just be windy. Thursday afternoon, same thing. Wind turns a little bit more southerly, but this trend, again, it's going to be warm all day. And like I said, probably for, into Friday. Friday morning, still west wind, winds calming down. So again, another, nice day out on the water if you can get out there and do it and, bear with the heat. Again, we're going to have to look at what the rain chances are going to do. But like I said, what's going to happen is Debbie is spinning away. And as the squall lines spin in between that, following it, we have dry air. So as the days push on into Thursday, Friday, we're going to have drier air come in, which will decrease the chance for rain. And then as it really goes away, then our chance for rain will increase, Saturday, Sunday, and into early next week. Friday afternoon, our wind starts pushing south. So again, the storm is going more north and pulling that wind up with it. Lay down some way down south, definitely. So, Tri-County area, it won't be real bad. More up towards Vero and Port St. Lucie. And Tampa, it's laying down a little bit, but up in the Big Bend, it's still ripping because of where the proximity to the storm. Everglades National Park, Chokoloskee, 10,000 Islands, all that goodness. You're laid down Friday, right? So, especially in the afternoon, in the morning, not so much, but as the afternoon approaches, you can see what's happening. Saturday morning, we're pretty much laid down. Again, southwest wind down in the lower Keys. It's looking calm. We've got a little spell. It's not real bad. We're actually not doing too bad Saturday morning. But then we'll have to, take a look at our moisture content too. Saturday afternoon, your onshore winds start to kick on again. So we will be looking at, the buildup of the afternoon storms, whether or not they're on the coast or out towards the west, is to be seen. Fairly, decent calm winds all down south. The Keys, you're sticking out in the middle of the ocean, so you're going to get a little bit more breeze. Sunday, east winds, not too bad. Palm Beach County early in the morning, 5-10 knots. Down in the Keys, it's kicking a little bit low double digits. Tampa all the way down to the Everglades is, looking nice again. They're becoming on the leeward side of the peninsula again, so their seas over here in the Gulf will lay down. If we look by the Big Bend, middle grounds, it's pulling. And if you go out towards Pulley Ridge, which is out in this area, it's I'm not sure if they're planning those trips yet or how they're looking at that aspect of it. Sunday afternoon, winds are starting to pick up again in the Tri-County area, but not too bad. Looks like still below 10 knots, so the ocean waves might not be real bad. Up north, again, low double digits, not too bad, especially into the afternoon where we are. West Coast, not bad at all. Down in the Keys, around the southern bend of Florida, it seems to be picking up in the afternoon. Again, that's that onshore breeze in the afternoon. You can't really fight it in the summertime. Monday morning, fairly laid down inland, offshore. Low double digits, not bad, up into the Tri-County area. Palm Beach, Vero, looks like you got like a dead spot, but that could be a morning calm, so don't let that fool you. Big Bend, down into Tampa, not fairly light winds, below the double digits, maybe right around 10 knots, if not less. And down into Everglades National Park and the islands. And again, this is the wind pulling around from the Straits of Florida. So that's the morning time. The afternoon, sort of the wind shifts a little bit more easterly, and it tends to lay down a little bit. Is what it's looking like, especially on the West Coast and in the Tri-County area, all the way down into Biscayne Bay. Tuesday morning, same. It's following this trend where it tends to be between 5 and 10 knots on the coast, and it's coming from a southeasterly direction, which is good. For our pelagics, a little bump to the ocean, not bad. We'll have to check out what our wave heights are going to be. Tuesday afternoon, more of the same. Again, onshore breeze, maybe a little bit of elevated gusty winds or not. Definitely looking at some of the wet stuff. All right, so let's go back to Wednesday morning and check out what our waves are going to be like. All right, tomorrow morning, again, we've got that swell because of that west wind over on the west side all the way up. You're looking at, 3 to 4 foot seas minimum. Down in here in the protected areas, it'll be choppy because of the wind direction. Over on the Keys, not bad, 1 to 2. All up and down the coast. Again, we've got that swell, so it's not going to, do much damage. Should be hold the same pattern. Again, we'll probably have a little bit of a wind shift which is why your waves will pick up in the afternoon, but not bad. On the West Coast, you're still looking fairly gnarly. You're looking at 5-foot seas up towards Tampa and Sarasota offshore. As you get down into the more shallower water here, Everglades National Park and all that, it lays down. But again, it's going to be choppy. You've got the wind pushing from the west, and the temperatures are going to be elevated, so that fishing might be a little bit rough going. Thursday morning around 8 o'clock, west wind still. So, within 5 miles, 8 miles, it's not bad. You've got that swell. Tri-County area and lower, Vero to Port St. Lucie. Again, same thing. It won't be real bad. 1 to 2 foot seas. Lake Okeechobee is like a lake, obviously. And again, same trend over here on the West Coast all the way up. In shallow, not real bad. 1 to 2 maybe, but it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be choppy because of the wind direction. And Thursday afternoon, they're holding the same pattern. 1 to 2, not bad. Down in the islands, lays a little bit down in the afternoon in the upper Keys. Friday morning, pardon me, it looks like it lays down a little bit from what we were looking at the trend. So Friday morning is actually looking a little bit more promising, especially in the Tri-County area, all the way up to Port St. Lucie. Vero is where we start picking it up a little bit. Everglades National Park, calm. Down in the Keys, the middle from Marathon up to Key Largo doesn't look, real bad. It looks like you'll be able to go out and have a nice day on Friday if you are intending to. The further south you go, the more it's going to be bumpy, of course, because we've got that wind flowing from the southwest. Friday afternoon, same pattern. It picks up, a little bit of onshore breeze. Same deal for way up north, Big Bend. Tampa Bay looks calm, bit of a bumpy chop, if you're fishing that Skyway Bridge or the piers out there. Naples and all the way down. So this is what we're looking at. The pattern's not really changing. 1 to 2 foot seas all week long. Saturday morning lays down real good. So Saturday morning, we're looking at, 1 foot or less early in the morning. Good start to the day all the way out. But again, we're going to have an elevated chance of rain showers starting on Saturday. It'll go from like 40% on Thursday and Friday to like 50% on Saturday, up to like something like 60% on Sunday. So, just be wary of those offshore showers, especially following the huge storm that just passed, right? So let's look at Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon holds the same. So Saturday, when we're talking about the ocean conditions and the waves, Saturday is the day right now, okay? And again, if it's going to rain and you want to get out and deal with the, one or the two elements, the bumpier seas or the wet stuff falling from the sky. Sunday, 7 a.m., looking pretty good too. Not bad. Seas 1 to 2, a little bump, little chop to the sea, but definitely doable. Sunday afternoon, all along the West Coast, looking fairly nice because of that wind shift. And, it'll pick up a little bit, 1 to 2 foot seas all the way Tri-County area up to Port St. Lucie, Vero Beach. And if you're going all the way up north, it gets a little bumpy. And I know, up in this area, you've got to head offshore 30, 40 miles, which you're in this area, which is definitely 3 to 4 foot seas, if not a little bit bumpier. All right. Monday, 7 a.m. Not bad. 1 foot, 2 foot or less, definitely in the Tri-County area, heading up Port St. Lucie, Vero area. 1 to 3, but choppy, all that goodness. We'll read we'll go through the readout and see what our period is. See if they give us any intel on that here in a moment, and see where that goes. Everglades National Park, Chickalusky, and all that stuff. The Keys on the eastern side of the Keys, as you head further south, gets a little bumpy as the new week starts. Monday afternoon, still holding the same all the way up the East Coast. Same thing, 2 foot or less as we get towards Vero. It starts to pick up and get a little bit more bumpy. Tuesday, same thing. Palm Beach County, a little bit more picked up, but not as bad. So we're looking at, 2 foot or less, I would say, definitely on Tuesday. And up into Vero and Palm Beach. And same thing, especially inshore, 5 miles in or less. Whole West Coast is looking great. Tampa Bay, Skyway Bridge guys will be able to get out there. The pier fishermen will be able to get out there and punish all of those fish that are out there off the piers. The king mackerel should be swimming around. Down into the Keys is 1 or 2. It's not bad. Patry fishing should be, the smaller fish will be swimming around. The kudas, the sharks are going to be hitting you. Getting further offshore and doing some of that reef fishing for the snappers and all the goodness. The AJs fishing the humps for the grouper it'll be bumpy, but it's not undoable on Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon it lets up. So, all right. So let's go back to tomorrow morning and look at what's going to happen with our rain. Tomorrow morning, again, we've got some offshore storms. Again, it's trailing from Debbie, which is up here. Tomorrow afternoon, onshore afternoon, but it's still trailing storms, right? And again, like I said, that dry air is going to start pushing in like it will tonight. Some dry air. Tomorrow, you'll have a big push of dry air, and it'll keep following into Thursday. As you can see, the drier air behind the storm is going to start to funnel in, right? Thursday afternoon, we've got some storms still following Debbie's path, but more, because of onshore storms, onshore breeze coming from the Gulf this time instead of from the Atlantic. Friday morning, offshore storm. So again, here we go. Friday, is looking good for the weather, right? The waves, the wind is going to be nice. There will be some offshore storms, but it looks like they're more towards the Bahamas than inland and close by. Down in the Keys, they're closer to the shoreline. Friday afternoon, again, on a little bit of stuff out by the Bahamas, 50 miles away. Tri-County area looks fairly clear in the afternoon for Friday. So Friday is looking like a very good day if you can get out there. Saturday, again, we're going to have a little bit of an increased chance of rain throughout the day. Switch of wind direction, right? So the temperature will cool down, but the increase of rain. So in the morning, not too bad. Some offshore showers, a little bit of moisture in the air, not really showers, right? Shouldn't really do much. Let's look at 7 a.m. Yeah, same thing. All right, let's look in the afternoon. Onshore showers. Thank you from Brazil. I appreciate it. Onshore showers in the afternoon, Saturday. Again, that comes back to our typical summertime weather pattern. Offshore in the morning, scattered showers, moisture in the air, tons of tropical moisture, and then in the afternoon you get your onshore showers, depending upon how strong the wind is, whether they are more on the west coast or whether they are more built up on the east coast. Sunday morning, not too bad, 6 a.m. This is just moisture in the air. It doesn't look like much rain or anything like that. Sunday afternoon, here it comes from the south. We're supposed to be having, there's supposed to be a tropical wave currently. I'll go back to this. Let me go back to it today. So right now out here, there is a tropical wave that's supposed to come and head up towards Belize in the next 7 days. So if we go to Sunday afternoon, you can see that's probably that line of what's going on right there. Hello, good evening to you. So Sunday afternoon, you're looking at it again. Like I said, after the dry air leaves following Debbie, the chance of the moisture coming back in, which is Saturday and Sunday, is elevated back up to the 50-60% chance of rain. So it looks like your afternoon is gonna produce some showers. Monday morning, 6 a.m. not much, just some moisture in the sky. So Monday's looking good in the morning. In the afternoon, looks like some drier air is returning. We've got a little bit of activity here on the Everglades National Park all the way up into Naples and just north of the Tri-County area, but not much, just moisture in the sky. Doesn't look like much more than tropical moisture. Tuesday morning, dry. Tuesday afternoon, not much going on. So so it looks like the buildup of the moisture and the storm chances is going to happen Saturday and Sunday, but it doesn't look too undoable. The weekend for you folks that only get a chance to head offshore during the weekend, it's looking favorable this weekend. A lot better than it was this past weekend. This past weekend, of course, as we all know, was a washout. All right. So that's it for windy. Now we're going to go to our written version of it and check this out with WindFinder. Bear with me 1 second here. Kenny Holiday, thanks for reports last week out of Lucy Inlet. We got nice sailfish, wahoo and kingfish trolling small pink mylar skirts over ballyhoo. Very good. Thanks for the intel, Kenny. Awesome. On live bait on the day we had them. Okay. All right, cool. So yes, the wahoo are scattered. I'm seeing them caught too. I forgot to mention them with the pelagics. And so the 19th of this month, there will be a full moon. So don't forget, a couple of days before that, next weekend, if you're a wahoo fisherman, go out and definitely, give it a try. The Monday is the full moon. So, a few days before, a few days after, not necessarily on the day. All right, let's look at, thanks again, Kenny, for the report. I appreciate it. Tuesday, here we are right now. Southwest winds, steady, mid-teens, gusts over 20 still because of the storm. Tomorrow, lower double digits in the afternoon, picking up, of course, gusty. Looks like not much moisture. Again, like I said, that the dry air trailing Debbie is going to happen, okay? Cloudy, partly cloudy, sunshine though. Again, but we've got a west wind. Remember, so it's going to be hot. Our waves on Wednesday, like I said, less than 2 feet, periods of 6 and 7 feet, a swell. 6 and 7 seconds, sorry, a swell. So you're looking good Wednesday. Thursday, southwest winds turning more southerly in the afternoon. Again, the same thing, same pattern Friday. Starting out southwest, turning more southerly. Thursday, your winds are low double digits all the way up to mid double digits in the afternoon. Gusts not much higher, not very gusty. Same thing on Friday. The wind speed actually lowers down. As we saw Friday, it looked like a very nice day. And the gusts are not much higher than your average wind speed. Cloudy all day Thursday with chance of rain. Like I said, there's still that dry air that's pushing through past Debbie all the way into Friday morning. A little bit of moisture and later in the afternoon for Friday, but still kind of cloudy, right? So that's that. It'll actually be, that'll actually be good to keep it a little cool considering the wind direction, right? You're going to have, the warm air blowing over the land, but you'll have coolness because of cloud cover. Our waves, wave directions are kind of a confused sea coming from the east and then heading more northerly. Same thing Friday into Friday afternoon. Less than 2 feet, periods of 6, 7, and shortening as the day goes on. And the same trend Friday, periods of 6, raising, increasing into periods of 7 with less than 2 foot seas. Saturday and Sunday, again, southwest winds starting out Saturday morning, turning southerly and more northerly. Sunday starting out southerly and turning more southeasterly as the day progresses. Saturday, winds less than 10, slowing down into the afternoon towards noon, and then picking up in the afternoon again. Same thing for Sunday, low wind speeds early morning, and then of course picking up in the afternoon. The rain chances look pretty much non-existent for both days according to WindFinder. Our waves will be coming from the east and a little bit sometimes southeast, less than 2 feet on both days with periods of 7 seconds on general. Sunday, even a longer period, 7 into 8 seconds, less than 2 feet. So looking good for both days on the weekend, folks. Very good. Been waiting for that one, right? We had a 1 week pause the week before. Everybody blew it out of the water. This past week, storm. Now let's go hit it hard after the storm. The storm's going to stir everything up, so everybody should be able to get out and get into the bite with no problem. Monday, southeast winds. Tuesday, same thing, southeast winds. Wind speeds picking up into, the low double digits as the day progresses. Gusts, not very gusty. Same thing Tuesday, below 10 miles an hour as the day starts and heading up into the low double digits. And the gusts are pretty much non-existent. And the chance of rain, according to WindFinder, is pretty much non-existent on both days. And that agrees with what Wendy had showed. They were both very dry days. Our waves are coming from the east on both days, right around 2 feet. But again, we've got periods of 7 and 8 seconds. So it's not going to be very bad to get out there. It won't be choppy at all on either day. So that is WindFinder. Very good report. The weekend is looking great starting on Friday. All right, now let's look at what NOAA is saying, see if they jive or not. Okay, here we go. The small craft advisory right now. I'm not so sure about that because we looked at the BOCA inlet cam and it looked fairly subdued out there. Wednesday, southwest winds 15 to 20. They're saying seas 2 to 3. I disagree with that. I think it's going to be a swell less than 2 feet. Thursday, southwest winds again 15 to 20. It did look like the winds, they're getting the winds kind of, I think their winds they're a little on the high side here. Seas 2 to 3 feet. I think this is wrong. Where they are right is they're saying they've got a north 1 foot swell at 8 seconds on Thursday. That sounds about more right. Thursday night into Friday, they're saying that the winds are still kicking up into the high double digits, which is that I'm not really jiving with NOAA's forecast this week. Saturday through Sunday, southeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Yes, seas less than 2 feet. Okay, wave detail 1 foot at 3 seconds. I think it'll be a little bit more subdued than that. Chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the nights. So NOAA is a little bit wonky for the rest of the week, but as they're going into the weekend, they're kind of getting with the program. All right, let's look at our moon phase, shall we? So we just passed the new moon. Bear with me. Let me open it up here so we can look and see what we're talking about. Okay, so we are currently in a waxing phase of the moon, right? Again, for those of you that don't understand, waning and waxing. Waxing is when we are heading towards a full moon. Waning is when we are heading towards the new moon, the dark side. So we just passed it 2 days ago, which was Sunday. We had a new moon, no moon. So right now, today, Tuesday the 6th, we're at 4% waxing. Tomorrow, 9%. Thursday, 15%. Friday, 22%. Saturday, 30%. Sunday, 39%. Monday, 49%. Tuesday, 59%. So as you can see, as the week progresses, we're getting more moon, which is what I was talking about. The following week will be, time to start heading out and doing your wahoo targeting, for those scattered wahoo that are out there. So, but for right now, as we sit right here today, the 6th, this is bait fishing territory at nighttime for your thread fins, your goggle eyes, ballyhoo, squid, if you can go out and find it. That's where bait comes up to the boat and is more prevalent, especially the goggle eyes. If you're a goggle eye fisherman, you don't want to fish when there's a full moon. They're very tough to find, very hard to get to bite too. Goggle eyes bite by under the cover of darkness, just like most bait does. And again, with this non-existent moon, the fishing for the pelagics should be heightened and elevated because it's tougher for them to eat all night than it is when we've got a lit up sky. So that's our moon phase. All right, now let's look at our tide charts and we will move on with life. All right, so right now, today we were mid-tide rising at around 10 a.m. Tide started falling. So again, tides are in a cyclical nature. They run in 12-hour spans, 6 hours falling, 6 hours rising. We go through this week after week, and I'm just going to go through the detail. Again, If you are fishing a jetty or fishing an inlet, trying to fish that water flow, you want to fish that water flow when the tide is going out, when it's falling. What happens is water pushes out of the inlet. It pushes all the microorganisms, all the little debris, all the junk, all the phytoplankton, everything that little fish come in to eat. And then the big fish come in to eat them. That is how a tide works when it comes to a jetty, especially if you are standing on the jetty fishing from the jetty directly. If you are fishing in the morning, let's say BOCA Inlet right off the jetty, or Hillsborough Inlet right off the jetty, and you're fishing there, let's say tomorrow morning, you're not going to catch anything. You would have to wait till about 10:30 in the morning, probably about 11 or so. And by then the sun's coming up. So it would definitely be tough fishing. You would have to wait a little bit more in the afternoon, but the tide has to be falling to fish that water flow. Otherwise you will never catch anything. If you fish a jetty or an inlet on the incoming tide, you're not going to catch anything. Okay. So trust me, that's just speaking from years of experience and learning the hard way. And also, if you want to troll, drift, bottom fish outside of the inlets and be productive, you also need that water flow going out. The incoming tide doesn't produce anything. All right, so Wednesday, as the sun comes up, we are a little bit, right about halfway through the incoming tide. Thursday, incoming tide about a third of the way into it. So it will be a long haul to get to the outflow. Friday, still about a quarter of a way into it. So it's going to be an incoming tide. So if you're planning on, like I said, doing some drifting, trolling, any of that stuff, fishing that water flow right outside the inlets, it's going to be unproductive. Go hit up the reefs or your favorite wrecks, structures, anything like that, because the water flow areas is not going to work for you. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. All right, Saturday. Again, we're at ebb tide. We're at slack tide as the sun comes up. So get out there, get fishing, but it might be slow for a little bit until the tide really starts changing. And then Sunday, you'll just be on the end of the outgoing tide as the sun's coming up. Not much difference there. So it's going to be a rough 2 days, even though the weather conditions is great. I'm trying to get back on the water. I had the passing of my grandmother, so I've been a little busy. I would love that. My son, he's great. My son, he's doing good. I'm getting ready to be able to do some filming here real soon. I'm working on some new stuff, doing a little bit of reinvention, and wait till you see him. He's all grown up. He's got long hair now. You probably won't recognize him, but yeah, he's doing great. Thanks for asking. The fish slayer is bothering me consistently about fishing. But like I said, I've had a few bumps in life happen. Is what it is. Like I said, as soon as I can get out, I will. And and then again, I got the thing where I do guided services on other people's boats, and I just don't. I'll bring the camera and film them fishing, but I don't like to focus on myself. I'd rather focus on teaching and having a productive day. All right, so that is our fishing. That's our weather forecast, moon phases, and tide charts, everybody. It's looking pretty good towards the end of the week, throughout the weekend, and into early next week. So before we cut out here, just want to tell you about South Florida Saltwater Fishing merch. Again, if you have not seen it, the link is in the description here in the video. We've got it provided by our sponsor, WindRider. We've got, long sleeve shirts, logo on the back or the front, hooded shirts with gators, logo from South Florida Saltwater Fishing. They're pretty cool. I have quite a few of these shirts. WindRider is a great company. These are UPF 50 shirts. They dry quick. They keep you cool. They've got the protection from the sun. You actually, these ones are great with the gator and everything because you really don't have to wear sunscreen. I know when I wear my shirt, I don't. When I wear the shirts that they've given me, I don't wear sunscreen. So that's that. Again, the description is in the The link is in the description. If you want to go check them out, hey, cool. Check it out. Support the brand and, yeah, be part of the family. See me out there. We can go, hey, I got a shirt. I can go, hey, I got one too. All right. And again, before we sign off, folks, if you have Facebook, I want to just invite you to join the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report group. It looks like this. The full view of it actually looks like this, minus the date. Every Monday, we have a sort of welcome back to Monday. It's time to show off your catches. Little post, everybody posts on there, and that's what fuels this video, right? And if you make a post, some person is guaranteed to be the thumbnail for the current week's video. Like I can show you, last week was Kevin McPherson, and I believe this is the wife. The week before, we had Richard and his daughter. So just to show you a little bit of what you got to look forward to if you make a submission. Also, the submissions are, like I said, that's what fuels this show, so that we can show you what everybody is catching, where they're catching it, and what they're catching it with, and also all the other goodness that goes, like I said, to keep you into the bite. All right, folks, that about does it for this episode. Hope to see you next Tuesday. Thanks for showing up. As always, everybody that left comments, everybody that made posts, I expect to see a ton of fish caught this weekend on the backside of this storm. It's been fun, folks. I'm done. All right, till next time, South Florida Saltwater Fishing, going wherever the cool wind takes.